There's a neat little visual detail that communicates to us Caitlyn's various mental states by way of things that are not normal signifiers of mental states. Now, I've talked before about how Caitlyn's eyes are a really good indicator of her mental and emotional state. The other indicator is actually not anywhere on her face. It's in her hands. Caitlyn is a character of precision, dexterity, and cleverness. And yes, while eye contact is the means that she uses to both learn and communicate emotion, the way that she conveys affection is through her hands. And Caitlyn of Season 1, again, is one of the most open, caring, giving people that we know. She wears fingerless gloves. Her most intimate moments with Vi are the soft, light touches with her hands, either the thumb to the cheek or the back of her two fingers. In her first scene with Vi in Season 2, she's not wearing gloves at all, and it's no coincidence that that's also the scene in Arc 1 that she's the most emotionally vulnerable with her. But after the memorial attack and the formation of the Hellfire Squad, there's an immediate change in her wardrobe. Caitlyn's gloves immediately afterwards cover her entire hands. It is again no coincidence that this is a match to her own closed-off dissociative state. The gloves are part of the Commander ensemble. It is the facade that Caitlyn creates in order to do what she thinks she has to do. But there is a certain point that you might notice whilst in the Undercity that Caitlyn's gloves change again slightly. In the lead up to the fight with Jinx, particularly when she is alone in the tunnel with Vi, you notice that her gloves are partially fingerless, but not all the way. Her first two fingers are uncovered, but her thumb and the rest are. This is a good indicator of where she is in that moment. She is trying to be vulnerable, there is some of her out on display, but also the facade still maintains control, covering more fingers than not. And that the thumb pad that she uses to stroke Vi's cheek in that moment is covered in glove. The desire to connect is there, but the ability is somewhat hampered. For the rest of her time as Commander, she is always wearing the full-fingered gloves. This is another one of the indicators that is supposed to be a red herring of sorts for when she marches Vi into Ambessa's tent. With her hands covered, there's no real cue as to which side she's on, other than the eye contact, but we're talking about hands today. The next time we see Caitlyn after the commune, once again, she's no longer wearing gloves at all. A sign that she has abandoned this persona entirely and is now more open, more willing to be connected with. Speaking of that willingness to connection, there are scenes between there in which she's not wearing gloves around Maddie. However, it is an apt representation of her feelings about Maddie that she often distances herself from physical skin contact with her. Anytime that Maddie tries to touch her like a lover and not someone that she's just sleeping with, Caitlyn has an immediate adverse reaction. My favorite one of this is in Act 3 when Maddie goes to touch Caitlyn's hand, ungloved, and Caitlyn flat out rebuffs her. Maddie, unfortunately, was not aware that skin-to-skin hand contact was solely reserved for pink-haired Zaunite emo goths. And then, final battle, Kate's being tactical again. She's got to wear gloves of some kind. What are they? Full fingerless, because she is Caitlyn Kierman once again. Now, I know some of you, and I know that some of you were looking at Caitlyn's fingers in gloves for unwholesome reasons, shall we say? But listen, there is a good reason to parse costume choices. The dramaturgy goes so much deeper than just the facial expressions.